One other Capcom's thing does run and fall into the PlayStation Plus service, which has released today. Yes, I know we talk about PlayStation Plus a lot, but I told y'all in the last episode I want to kind of try and do a, this is what is new to PlayStation Plus this month. This is what is
Yeah.
new this month, blah blah blah. Well, we did say in the very first episode that we were going to talk and discuss about the PlayStation Plus premium service when it went live, and that is today. Now, I've already upgraded, and Mittenz is actually going to interview me on my thoughts on the PlayStation Plus premium, basically on what I've been able to mess with so far. Since I had to work, I didn't really get to mess with it too much until I got off work, but I did mess with a couple games. So, any questions that you have?
Okay, so when you booted it up and everything was good to go, was there like a download or anything you had to do?
No, it was very simple. So here's how I was able to figure out where the upgrade was, because if you want to upgrade from your current service, so everybody has a regular PSplus right now. If you want to upgrade from that, you have the 3 tiers. You have the, I think, extra, deluxe, and premium. So I was going with the premium no matter what. So what prompted me to upgrade, because I was going to go into the store and do it itself, was they released Resident Evil Director's Cut on PlayStation Plus. No, not the DualShock version, the good one. The one without the fart music in the basement. The one that I love so much. The one that I showed y'all.
You were so hoping they would.
Yes, the one I showed y'all on episode 1 on my wall back there. That one. Now, a lot of people are excited about it, but I do have to warn you, that game is locked behind. I'm not 100% sure, but it is locked behind the PlayStation Plus upgrade. I could not even see a price for it. Now, every other game that I was checking just to see, because, some of the games they offered to you at no extra cost. If you already bought them, no problem. Siphon Filter was one of them. I think there was another game in there that popped up that said free. And I said, oh, cool. Well, let me see how much Resident Evil Director's Cut is. I was going to upgrade anyway. So when I saw that, it said upgrade. I'm like, oh. And a lot of other games, at least I don't know, because I think now that I'm in premium, it's not going to give me the price of any of them unless I'm checking like online or something. But I did not see a price for that. It just said upgrade. It didn't say buy for $9.99, $5.99, this and that. I believe Siphon Filter did, but once I upgraded to the premium, it doesn't have the prices next to it anymore.
And you were just like, shut up and take my money.
Basically, and because I was upgrading from, they didn't even charge me a full $60.
Well, wasn't that it was going to be kind of off because you have already do a service through PlayStation, so it was going to be a discounted price.
There was supposed to be and it was supposed to be half of the 120, which was the another. They kept saying it was going to be another 60. I'm like, okay, but it was actually 30 for me. I was like, oh, I'm not even complaining. I'm not even going to complain about it that it was $30. Cool, great upgrade. And if you guys, I'm just going to warn you now, if you happen to upgrade via purchasing a game like I was doing with Resident Evil Director's Cut, go all the way through the transaction. Don't just be like, okay, upgrade it and get out. It won't upgrade you because you're basically still making a purchase. So it'll count the game as 0, but it'll charge you for the upgrade, if that makes sense. So what happened was I went in my phone. I said, okay, Resident Evil Director's Cut. Okay, upgrade. And then it says, okay, you're going to upgrade to, which one do you want to upgrade to? And then it gave you a list of tiers. And so I said, okay, premium. And then it had my transaction, but it still said it still wanted me to make the purchase, if that makes sense. I needed to go through and finalize the purchase. I couldn't just back out, otherwise it wouldn't have upgraded me, which I almost did. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, wait a minute, why am I still getting charged? And then I looked at it again. I looked carefully. I was like, oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
Complete purchase. There we go.
Complete purchase, exactly. Download games is exactly what I did. But I will say, I'm having an issue with one game in particular. Toy Story 2 will not download. I don't know why, but that is an issue that a lot of people are having. Not just with that game, but other games. People are unable to download them. And yes, I bought Toy Story 2 on PS3 like 10-something years ago, maybe longer than that. And it said, you've already purchased this game, so you cannot download it. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What? No, you should have it. It should say free right there. At first, I couldn't even find the game. I couldn't even find it at first. I said, okay, it's not here, whatever. And I checked it again, and that's when it was like unavailable. I'm like, that is odd. And so some other people said they're having issues with other games. Siphon Filter is one of them that they're unable to download. They keep getting an error. this and that, and I'm like, Sony will fix it. If they don't fix it, I'm gonna contact him and be like, look, what's going on? Why can't I download this? Because I really want to play it with the modern filters. And
yeah,
I will say the modern filters make the games look incredible. So when you play these, go ahead.
When you get the dashboard, is it technically just the same as it was previously? So you can like search the same way. Everything kind of has its own category. You can just kind of go through it.
It changed a little bit, and there's a lot of stuff in there, and I'm like, oh golly, where is everything? You can still search for stuff, but everything's kind of just jumbled in together. So you'll see your catalogs. It'll say, the only ones I've seen so far, looked at so far, was the classic games and the streaming games. I'll talk about the streaming ones in just a minute, but you'll see the different catalogs of, here's your newer games, here's your PS5 games, PS4 games, classic catalog, streaming catalog, game trials. All the stuff they mentioned previously that they were going to have there is all categorized in its own thing. And I've only looked at like a couple of them. I haven't really taken the time to look at too many because I was trying to, get some gameplay and everything too, because I want to, record it and stuff and show it off. But just know that it's going to be, the dashboard is going to be a little bit different. It's going to look a little bit different, but you can still pretty much search for stuff. Just know that there's a lot of stuff in there. You're like, oh, Jesus, what is this? How do I find this? How do I find that? It's all there. Just, for example, you go to the classic library and you'll see one spot that says, here's all your PS1, PS2, PSP games. Check them out, because we all know that the streaming is PlayStation 3 only. They are trying to work on it and make it not be like that. But you'll see all the PS1, PS2, PSP titles, and a lot of those are the games that were released PS2 classics on the PS4, so those are still there. You can download them, no problem. I did not see Code Veronica, but I do have it on my system, and I'm sure they're gonna squeeze that on in there. So the thing is, a lot of people, they're not understanding that Sony is not going to drop every single game at once right now. They're going to slowly get things out there. They're doing it more like Nintendo does with their Switch Online stuff. They're just going to slowly get games out there, and they have said every single month we're going to get our traditional free games at the beginning of the month, and then middle of the month we're going to get classic, like 2 classic games, which is what Nintendo does. And Nintendo does it like sporadically, like every now and then I'll forget the Switch Online is even a thing, and then they'll be like, oh, by the way, you're getting 3 Kirby games. I'm like, oh shit, okay, cool. So I have faith that Sony's going to make good on their promise. And when I mentioned Dino Crisis, an image leaked a while back. I don't know if it was real or fake, but it showed a picture of Regina from Dino Crisis. So people are thinking, oh my god, we're gonna get Dino Crisis on PlayStation Plus. Maybe not now, maybe not next week, but hopefully soon. That's one of those games that people want. They're going to release the games that people want. But here's the thing about when it comes to trophies. I think only the Sony games are getting trophies, as far as I can tell. From what I've seen so far, only the Sony owned games are, and they said it's optional if studios want to add trophies to their games. It is optional. So maybe someday down the road, Capcom will be like, hey, Resident Evil Director's Cut, we're going to add some trophies to you. But right now, the only games that have trophies are the Sony games. So Siphon Filter, Hot Shots Golf. Actually, Jumping Flash doesn't have them, but Ape Escape does. But I did check, see what games that I've downloaded so far that have them. Intelligent Cube has them. That I can't even imagine the trophies in that game, because that game's so damn hard. But, maybe down the road, some of these companies, these third parties, would be like, okay, yeah, we'll add Trophy Star games, or the highly popular games. Like maybe if Resident Evil 2 or when Resident Evil 2 comes, they'll put trophies in that one, because that's such a popular game. Or when Metal Gear Solid comes to the service, they'll put trophies in that, because trophies, when they first released, some games didn't get them right off the bat. They had to start adding them, and Metal Gear Solid 4 did not get trophies until the game came out in 2008. They didn't get trophies until 2012. So that's how long it took them to add trophies to that game. I don't think they were intending to do it. I think Konami was pushing Kojima to add the trophies to the game, which when they finally did, I didn't even care anymore. I was like, I don't give a crap. I don't even want to play this game anymore just to get trophies, because I'd already played that game to death. So I guess I can tell you all a little bit about the gameplays themselves. If anybody, do you have Switch Online?
I do not. I didn't get it because it was just like not enough games on there that I wanted to play.
So Switch Online, they took inspiration from that. They have this thing where you can rewind your game, and you can rewind the game in this one too. And if you can also do save states, which they also had in the PlayStation 1 Classic. If you bought that piece of trash, I have one. I love it, but Sony, do not do what you did with the PlayStation 1 Classic. Please do not screw this up like you did with that one. So there's also a bunch of filters, and you can basically you can set the screen to first of all, I'm just picturing the list in my head right now, but the filters you can go with, do standard retro, or I think there's default, retro, and then modern. That's the one I wanted to use. And so the cool thing about it is it makes the games more crisp. So I was playing through Siphon Filter earlier today, and I could just see Gabe Logan's face, and I was like, wow, I can see your face, and it still looks like crap, but it looks better. It looks like a shinier crap. So if anybody's ever played any of these PS1 games on PlayStation 3, then there's a smoothing option. Even in the PS2, there was a smoothing option. This is like up there, like way better. So Resident Evil 1, I could just see everything
so smooth,
a lot clearer, a lot smoother. You can see the characters' faces, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is awesome. I can't imagine what other games they can release that will look this great. Now, the only games it doesn't work with that little option is the PS2 games. I think they only did the smoothing and filtering and stuff for the classic, like the original PlayStation games, and maybe some PSP games. But as far as I can tell, I booted up Red Faction, didn't give me the option because it was already a PlayStation Classic. It's technically a PS4 game, if you will, even though it's a PS2 game. And the other cool thing is you have the option to download either the PS4 or the PS5 version of these games. Obviously, I'm going with the 5 because that's what I'm playing on. And so they'll look a lot more clear, a lot more crisper on the PS5. And I'm just like, geez, you guys, worth the money. Now, I guess we can get to that in a minute. If you have any questions as far as games go, throw them at me.
Okay, so I like having that option to be able to have it in like classic, retro, and then like you said, the more of the modern. And you said there's some that it doesn't work with, but also we were talking in previous episodes about some of the games that were just going to be streaming only, and some that you could download. But I thought that was like the PS3 was a big issue because there's a lot of like source codes and stuff like that aren't able to get anymore. But that's not the case. We can download them, or is that still
not the PS3 games? You still can't download those. They're streaming only. You can, if you want to save space, you can stream the PS1, PS2, PSP games. Right now, there's not a whole lot as far as those three systems go. It's basically whatever was already on the system already on the games library. So like my Jak and Daxter games are still there. Everything is still there. But the PS3, you as of right now, you cannot download them. It is only streaming, and that was kind of an issue they had with PlayStation 4 with the PS Now. You could not download them. You can only stream, and it has something to do with some kind of special chip they use in the PS3.
Yeah.
And the thing is, don't give me that you can't do it, because people are running PS3 emulators all the time. So there is a way. If they can do it, you can do it. That's all I got to say about that. If they can do it, you surely can do it. You just don't want to. And they did say they're trying to work on it. And they're like, oh, this kind of thing takes years. I'm like, I bet y'all can figure it out, in a Thanos snap, just without us disappearing. I'm pretty sure y'all can figure out quicker than that, if you really wanted to. I don't think they want to. There was one other. Oh, there is a stretched option for the games, and it doesn't look like it messes anything up. Like, they still look pretty good in the widescreen mode, or the stretched image. Usually when you stretch out those older games, they look really bad, but these actually look pretty decent. I'm like, okay. I think Resident Evil looked a little funny to me, but not too bad. I was like, it's not too bad. Like, obviously you can do your native, which makes the screen super tiny, and you're like, oh god, I don't want it to be that small. I can't see anything. So you want to do the 4:3 to 16:9 or 4:3 to 16:10. That gives you a little bit of a bigger picture, and then you can also, like I said, stretch out the image, which takes up the whole screen, and it really doesn't look that bad. But I know some people they prefer the smaller box for their classic games. But just saying, it does not mess up the image at all. It still looks pretty good to me.
That's cool. So, are there any other options that they added to it as well that could modify or anything with the games?
Other than the save states and the rewind option, which is very helpful. When I was playing Siphon Filter, I died in this spot. I was like, oh, it's like, damn, that checkpoint's too far. I was like, wait a minute. Rewind. There we go. Good. I won't do that during playthroughs because it's just defeats the purpose of the playthrough and stuff. But it is nice to have it there. Maybe if I was to like stream one of these games, I'd say screw it. I'm using the rewind option. But other than that, not a whole lot that they added to the filters and everything. That was pretty much it. I mean, I still want to check out the retro one and see what that looks like, but I'm pretty sure it's just a CRT filter with the scan lines and everything. That's probably all it is. So if you're going to play them and you want the crispiest, if that's even what I'm trying to go for, image, you want to go with the modern filter for your games, which is why I wanted to get Toy Story 2, because I saw what that looked like. I'm like, that game's already blurry as it is when I play it on my Vita, so I'm like, oh, I need to, if I'm playing this on the console, I need to play it on the PS5 with the thing. And the good thing is I can go and delete some of these games off my PS3 and give that system some room again, some storage again. I don't know if you can transfer saves from your older systems to your newer systems, because they're technically counting these games as PS4 games, PS5 games. It does not say PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 in the, because when when you're looking at them on the 5 and it'll say PS5 or PS4 in the lower left corner, that's all it says. It says PS4 or PS5. It does not say PS1, PS2, PSP. So at this moment, there is not a way that I know of to transfer your saves. I hope so, because I have a lot of 100% saves in these games that I really don't feel like doing a second time. But if I have to, I have to. That's no big deal. I'm fine.
Yeah, it definitely would be nice, because, I mean, you connect it to your PSN. It should be kind of accessible that way if they want to work that in.
Yeah, but I don't know if you can transfer or upload PS1 saves to the cloud. I've never tried it, to be honest. I don't know if you can. I think it's just like modern systems. I want to say maybe some games gave you that option, but I don't know if that's 100% true. But yeah, I'm still hoping that we get some other games that people want, like Silent Hill.
Yeah,
probably gonna be one. Here's the thing, I was not expecting Resident Evil Director's Cut Regular Edition, so if they got that one, I can only imagine what other games that they're gonna throw in there that we have no access to on any digital platform. Because if you want to go download Resident Evil Director's Cut on PS3, it's just that crappy DualShock version that so many people, and I am not joking, a lot of fans do not like that version. I mean, there are some fans who that's the only version they played. I'm not faulting them for that, but it's not the version I played. And when I first popped it in, I was like, oh, this music, I barely made it through that game when I was playing it on my Vita. I barely made it through it because the music was just so bad. And I know I've mentioned that before on the show, but I'm glad they gave us the version that was, the one that I grew up playing, the one that I played my first Resident Evil, which was that one.
Yeah, and it's still new, so there's still time for them to start adding a lot more stuff on there and evening out the edges and stuff like that.
And I mean, if that game looks that good, imagine what Resident Evil 2 could look like with the filter, the modern filter, Resident Evil 3 with the modern filter, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid. Just imagine what those games can look like with the filters. Yeah. And I really would like some other games, like if Medal of Honor gets released, not Medal of Honor 1, but 1 Underground, the other ones, if it gets released with and the ability to use those filters, that game is going to look so much cleaner than it does. I've been playing through that recently, and it's pretty grainy. I'm not gonna lie, it is a pretty grainy game, and it is very hard to see what I'm doing sometimes. But if they could release it with just being able to use that modern filter, yeah, I would definitely go for that one. But that is about all I had for, unless you have any more questions on the PlayStation Plus.
I was about to ask you if you had anything else we hadn't discussed yet, maybe that, surprised you the most or anything like that, but I think you covered everything when it comes to it.
Yeah, we'll just, I mean, right now, I think we got the month's games that we're getting, and so when July rolls around, I mean, just keep an eye on it, guys. If you have it, or if you don't have it, and just keep an eye out to see what games might be popping up that you might want to get the service for. But just know that some of them you might have to get the service in order to play them. Just like I think Resident Evil was one of those games. I didn't see what other games were in there, but Resident Evil definitely was one of the games that I had to upgrade in order to play it. I could not just download it. And I think part of that was because it's not the version that was released on PlayStation 3, PSN, which is why Siphon Filter was free of charge, because I've already bought the game so many years ago. That was one of the first games I got on PS3 when I got it back in 08. So just know that some games you can buy no problem, but some games, if you want to play them, you might have to get the service. And if you're not down to pay the $120, just do the month service. See if you like it enough to keep it. I'm likely going to keep the yearly service. So when my subscription rolls out or runs out, I'm just gonna upgrade it again. Because there's a lot of stuff in there. Like, I want to be able to play Infamous. I want to be able to play all my PS3 games on my PS5. And one good thing actually is that Shadow Warrior 3 released not too long ago, and it was released on PlayStation Now, but it didn't go to Game Pass. So I'm like, well, the new PlayStation Plus is coming out soon, so I will just wait until that comes out and play the game. Sure enough, today they go, hey, one of your wishlist games, Shadow Warrior 3, is available now on PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm like, okay, gotta play the first two, but hell yeah, let's do it. So, right now, I'm gonna say yes, it is worth it, other than a stupid Toy Story situation. But yeah, that is basically all I got to say on the PlayStation Plus Premium. I'm excited to see what they add to the service. I swear, if they add the Silent Hill games, like 1, 2, 3, 4, Origins, and Shattered Memories, all of them, I will shit a brick. Yeah. Because those games, I said it before, they are so hard to get, and they are so expensive. A friend of mine just got Downpour today, and I checked the pricing on that. It's about $60. I'm like, Jesus. Paid $60 for it when it came out in 2012.